That's first. The roll call. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll to ascertain a quorum?
Thank you, Councilor.
I'm overzealous today.
Acting President Siomo. Councilor Baker.
Here.
Councilor Campbell. Councilor Siomo.
Present.
Councilor Edwards. Councilor Sabi George. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Flynn. Councilor Janey. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Presley. Councilor Wu. And Councilor Zakem. Councilor Zakem. We have a unanimous presence, if you would.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have the great privilege and honor to introduce our pastor for today's invocation. Backed by popular demand, I think you might remember him. He was just here 2 months ago to lead us in prayer. Father Richard Fitzgerald from St. Paul's Parish. He's been in service of the Lord for almost 30 years now. In 2013, he was appointed pastor to St. Columkills by Bishop O'Malley. It is with my great honor to introduce Father Richard Fitzgerald.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilor. It's my great honor to be here on this very special day in the city of Boston. Not too long ago, as I was preparing for this prayer, I read that the tradition of praying in the new year dates back to December 31st, 1862, also known as Freedom's Eve. On that day, at churches across the South, slaves, free blacks, and white sympathizers sang and prayed until the stroke of midnight, January 1st, 1863, when the Emancipation Proclamation declaring all slaves in the Confederacy free went into effect. So each year, people of all faiths and political persuasions gather to welcome in the new year with prayers of peace, salvation, strength, wisdom, kindness, patience, and love. So in that tradition, let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for the promise and hope of this new year, and we look forward to it with expectancy and faith. Help us to make the most of every opportunity that is placed in our path to be salt and light in the world, and particularly in our city of Boston. Help us to be reflections of your goodness and grace as we faithfully proclaim your word, and through our actions of service to the poor, the needy, the downcast, the brokenhearted, and to all of our neighbors, may your love be displayed in and through each and every one of us. We particularly ask your blessing upon the members of the Boston City Council, and especially upon its soon-to-be new president. Let your Spirit lead them this new year, guide their decisions, and turn their hearts to all that is good. Give them all discernment and insight to understand your will, to hear your voice and know your ways. Give them wisdom, strength, and power to represent the citizens of Boston who elected them. And lastly, bless all the great citizens of this city. Keep safe their families and friends, and bless them so that their lives may honor you, their Creator, for you live and reign, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. I will now lead the council on the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Father. Now at this time, I'd like to go out of order, and I have the great privilege and honor now to introduce our mayor, newly sworn-in mayor of the city of Boston, Martin Joseph Walsh.
Thank you very much, Council, and I want to thank you, Council Siomo, and thank you all the city council that are here today. It certainly is a day today that was an exciting day to have the Vice President of the United States of America coming into Boston to swear us all in and preside in the event. So I want to thank you all for being part of that. To Councilors Asabi George, Councilor Baker, Flaherty, Presley, McCarthy, O'Malley, Zakem, and Siomo, I want to thank you for your great work here on the council. I look forward to working with you as we move forward here and the agenda, the aggressive agenda that we're all going to have in this upcoming legislative term. Councilor Michelle Wu, I want to thank you for your leadership here. I want to thank you for continuing the tradition that myself and Councilor Lenihan started by having leadership meetings and talking about how do we drive our city forward. I want to thank you for your commitment through your two children, and as well as steering this city forward. So I want to thank you for all that you've done here. You did an incredible job. You made a big difference and left a big mark on this council. So thank you. Congratulations. I look forward to working with Councilor Edwards, Councilor Janney, Councilor Flynn, and these three councilors. Congratulations, first of all, and bring a unique perspective to this body. Councilor Edwards has already been a passionate advocate for housing and moving forward, working over with the Department of Neighborhood Development, but understanding the importance of keeping people in their homes, and having that understanding on the city council is important. Councilor Janney, who's passionate about our kids and about education. And I think as we move forward here, education is an important part of moving our city forward. So I want to thank you and congratulate you. And Councilor Flynn, I've worked on a whole host of issues with Councilor Flynn, in particular our veterans and protecting the people who protect us, but so many other issues in the community. I want to thank you, Councilor, and I welcome you to this body, and I look forward to working with the three of you today. This body makes history today. It's the most diverse council in the history of the Boston City Council, with 6 women of color on this body. And that's not by accident. That's because of what's happening in our country. It's important for us that we continue to lead, and Boston today is a leader. So I want to thank all of you for being here. I look forward to working with all of you on many different issues around education, jobs, housing, homelessness, recovery, and strengthening the middle class, something that I think that has been forgotten in this country, and I talked a little bit about it today, and the Vice President talked about it. We talk an awful lot about the rich, and we talk about the poor. And we don't talk enough about is how do we preserve our middle class, and how do we push the poor people that are in our middle class and bring them up to the middle class. That's what we have to do, and that's our responsibility as elected officials in the city of Boston. And that's what will be our responsibility over the next 2 years here in the city. So I look forward to working with you on that. Before I leave, I don't want to jump the gun, but I want to congratulate the new president of this body. I look forward to working with you and talking to you about the agendas of the Boston City Council and the agendas of the city of Boston, and how we just do that together to move people into middle class here in the city of Boston. This councilor who you're electing today, you all know her. When she was running for city council, I was watching her determination, her passion for her district, and I watched her over the last 2 years take that determination, passion into this body. Not afraid to stand up, not afraid to tell where her position is, not afraid to push forward on behalf of the people of her district. And today she assumes the role, she will assume the role in a little while as the president of this body. I want to congratulate all of you, Boston City Council, for electing Andrea Campbell as your next president of this body. Congratulations, Madam President. Thank you. And I just want to end by wishing everyone in the chamber a very happy new year, and in particular to the families of these councilors. I know most of you are sitting here. I saw a lot of your pride in your faces at the Cutler Majestic Theater when your loved one was being sworn in. I want to congratulate all of you for being there for these people. The councilors, the elected officials need your support after today more than ever. So thank you to the family. Happy New Year's to all of you. God bless.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh. Madam Clerk, approval of the minutes. If there are no corrections to be made, the minutes of December 13th, 2017 meeting will stand approved. Seeing and hearing no objection, the minutes are so approved. Madam Clerk, if we could take docket 0109, temporary council rules, out of order. Please read docket 1019.
Chair. Docket number 0109, Council Siomo offered the following order, that the City Council adopt the City Council rules of municipal years 2016, 2017, except for Rule 36, which is council committees, as temporary rules for the 2018-2019 municipal years.
All in favor of adopting docket 0109? All in favor, say aye. Aye. And all opposed, no. The ayes have it.
The temporary council.
The temporary council rules have been adopted. Councilor McCarthy, what do you rise?
Chair, at this time, I would like to properly nominate District 4 City Council Andrea Campbell for president. Second.
Second. We have a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Baker.
Andrea Campbell.
Councilor Baker. Andrea Campbell. Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell. Andrea Campbell. Councilor Siomo.
Andrea Campbell.
Councilor Siomo. Andrea Campbell. Councilor Edwards. Councilor Edwards. Andrea Campbell. Councilor Asabi George. Councilor Asabi George. Andrea Campbell. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Flaherty for Andrea Campbell. Councilor Flynn. Councilor Flynn for Andrea Campbell. Councilor Janey. Councilor Janey for Andrea Campbell. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor McCarthy for Andrea Campbell. Councilor O'Malley.
Andrea J. Campbell.
Aha, a joy. Councilor O'Malley for Andrea J. Campbell. Councilor Presley. Councilor Presley for Andrea Campbell. Councilor Wu. Councilor Wu for Andrea Campbell. And Councilor Zachem. Councilor Zachem for Andrea Campbell. Mr. Chair, Councilor Andrea Campbell received a unanimous vote and is now President of the Boston City Council for the municipal year.
Gives me great pleasure to hand over the gavel to our new president, Councilor Andrea Campbell.
Thank you. Councilor Sioma said, "Don't cry." So I will do my best not to cry. Good afternoon. I want to welcome all of you, family, friends, guests, to the Boston City Council chamber on this historic day in the city of Boston. I am humbled and honored to be here and to serve as your next Boston City Council president. I want to first thank my colleagues. The progress we've made would not be possible without the commitment every member of this body has shown to achieving justice, providing equitable services in our diverse communities, and increasing opportunity for all of our residents. I am extremely grateful to have your support and honored to be your next council president. I look forward to supporting each of your goals and continuing to highlight the important work this body does every single day. I want to thank, and I think Cass does as well, former President Wu for your tremendous leadership these past 2 years. Because of your leadership, this very council chamber is more accessible and brighter for the work ahead. For me, transparency and accessibility will continue to be guiding principles. So thank you. And can we give President Wu a round of applause? I want to welcome Councilor Lydia Edwards. I also want to welcome Councilor Ed Flynn. I want to welcome Councilor Kim Janey. Because of your hard work, your dedication, and your passion, you are here. Your districts are lucky to have you, and I look forward to the work and the things you will accomplish for each of your respective districts. Thank you, and thank you for your support. I want to thank our city clerk, Maureen Feeney, and her incredible staff, our council's central staff, all the staff in my colleagues' offices, and my own team. You all make us look really good. I feel blessed to work in partnership with each of you. Thank you for choosing to serve and lending your expertise and talent to this great city. I want to congratulate our mayor, Mayor Martin J. Walsh, on his second term. I look forward to working with him and his administration in partnership, and also to continue to implement impactful policies that will lift up every resident and community in this city. I want to thank all of the electeds in the room, both from the state and federal delegations. At this critical time in our political history, it is imperative that we stand together and work in partnership to ensure our residents feel safe, feel protected, and continue to have access to services to meet their most pressing needs. Our residents have placed their trust and their hopes in us to do this work and to do it well and with integrity and courage. Thank you, residents who are here today, those watching, and those who live in this great city, for believing in us, for your engagement, your community leadership, and your ideas. Last but certainly not least, I have to thank my family, including my husband, Matthew, and my son, Alexander. Because of your love, I get to serve my God-given purpose every single day. Because of your understanding and your forgiveness, my mistakes are always opportunities to grow as a human being. So thank you. Today we celebrate many firsts. As the first African-American woman to lead this body as Boston City Council President, I'm especially humbled and proud to lead the most diverse council in this body's history with a historic 6 women of color. The diversity of this body is one of the greatest strengths. Every single one of us, men and women alike, brings our own unique story to this role, and that fuels our passion for the work. I want to tell you a bit, frankly, about my story, because it shows what's possible in the city of Boston, that a girl from a poor family from Roxbury in the South End can be standing on this stage and holding this gavel. For me, this work has always been a calling, a God-given purpose, primarily discovered after the passing of my twin brother, Andrea. This month marks exactly 6 years since he passed away. He was 29 years old and died in the custody of the Department of Correction as a pretrial detainee. He had a disease called scleroderma, and as a result of receiving inadequate health care, he passed. His loss, as you can imagine, had a tremendous impact on me. I questioned, why am I here? What is my purpose? How and why do 2 twins born and raised in the city of Boston have such different life outcomes? We both were born here and educated in all Boston public schools. We both lost our biological mother at 8 months old. She died in a car accident going to visit our father while he was incarcerated. We both didn't meet our father until we were 8 years old because he was in prison. During those first 8 years, we bounced around. We lived with family and sometimes in foster care. We would eventually go live with our father upon his release from prison, but he would later suddenly pass away when we were 19 years old. In spite of all this, I was blessed to go off to Princeton University and UCLA Law School. Andrea, on the other hand, cycled in and out of the criminal justice system, ultimately facing an unfortunate death. I could never have imagined that the council would be the place not only to share his story, but to work on policies that would ensure that we don't continue to get those divergent life outcomes. My story, however, is not merely one of divergent paths. It also speaks to the potential of this city to do better by the next generation. You see, my father was born and raised in Boston in 1933. Yes, he was 50 when I was born. My mom was 25. He was considered, quote unquote, a criminal. but my father was extremely intelligent. Having graduated from Boston Tech in 1951, he too was accepted to Princeton University. But instead of attending, he chose a different path, one he hoped, as the eldest of 7, would allow him to provide for his family. Instead, it led to long periods of incarceration. My father shared a frustration that many people of color in this city often feel, that even if you work hard and do all the right things, you still are marginalized or relegated to low-wage jobs, poor housing stock in neighborhoods concentrated in poverty, and with low-performing schools. And in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s in the city of Boston, that frustration was exacerbated by the fact that you were told explicitly that this marginalization and exclusion was because of the color of your skin. In spite of all that, my father, like so many fathers and mothers in the city of Boston, sought for his children to have more, to do better. So although he never made it to Princeton, I did, by taking advantage of every opportunity this city has to offer. Excellent public schools, after-school programming and job opportunities, mentors, a strong church community, and so much more. Opportunities that my brother and far too many of his peers were not afforded. My story illustrates that a child's life and potential is not predetermined by the neighborhood or circumstances in which they grow up, but by the opportunities they are afforded in this city. High-quality schools in every neighborhood, access to after-school programming and jobs for our young people, affordable transportation, great parks, safe streets, great transportation that connects every neighborhood, and affordable, sustainable housing for all who live and work here. Far too many feel that these are still out of reach and that the status quo in Boston is not changing. So we now have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to ask ourselves, what do we want this city to be? What do we want for our children? What do we want for the next generations? We have the opportunity to bring hope and fairness into the equation for all Bostonians, and to build a Boston in which intergenerational wealth opportunities are indeed accessible to every single resident, where all our children benefit from great educational opportunities that prepare them for post-secondary education in careers, and where no family or resident feels left out or left behind. Our residents elected each and every one of us because they want us to work together. They want us to challenge the status quo. They want us to adopt bold policies, and they want us to imagine the unimaginable. Last term, this body, along with my colleagues and those who are not here anymore but sitting in the gallery, did a lot. We accomplished a lot in partnership with the mayor. We generated millions of dollars for affordable housing, historic preservation, and parks with the passage of the Community Preservation Act. We made great strides to lower our city's carbon footprint by passing community choice energy and banning the use of plastic bags. We made investments in youth-serving organizations and passed protections for our homeless students. We increased opportunity for minority and women-owned businesses in this city, and we resolved to be a sanctuary city for our most vulnerable residents. As we move ahead, I am committed to elevating the ideas and experiences of residents who feel like they are not heard in this city, increasing the council's transparency and accessibility, and tackling and discussing issues through a racial equity lens. I am committed to exploring innovative tools and technologies for the council to do our work more efficiently and to make sure that we can actually update our residents on the progress we have made. Over the next 2 years, we have an opportunity to address and solve many issues plaguing our residents, including housing, education, public safety, and to do so in partnership with the mayor, whose agenda includes the same. An opportunity to break down traditional geographic boundaries and engage across neighborhoods to find solutions on common issues. This new council is already doing creative work to revitalize committees to address consumer fraud and consumer scams, small business development, and prepare for redistricting in 2020. As we do this work, we call upon you our residents, for your ideas and your input. Every resident of this city, regardless of class, language, national origin, immigration status, or voter registration status, are valuable members of our community. And each of you have a role to play in shaping this city's future. As this body seeks to move our city forward, it is imperative that we work together, recognizing we will not always agree, but let us draw on our differences and unique experiences to do this work creatively and to think more creatively. Let us remember that we do this work because we are passionate and we want to serve this city, and we want this city to be great and continue to be a pioneer. Boston is and has been for centuries a city of firsts. We established and built the first public high school and first public elementary school, the first public park, the first subway system, the first African-American meeting house, the first city police department, and so much more. May we continue on a trajectory that keeps us first, the first to develop and implement innovative policies that not only lift the middle class, but frankly also lift the poor, makes the vulnerable visible and the unheard heard. This is not a time for each of us to stand on the sideline. This is the time for each of us to play a role. We all have a role to play. I look forward to working in partnership with you, as well as my colleagues. God bless this council, God bless this city, and God bless each and every one of you. Now let's get to work. Thank you. Thank you. Now let's get to work. And now the work begins. Madam Clerk, when you're ready. Reports of public officers and others.
Madam President, would you like me to read all of these matters together?
Yes, docket 0102 through 0108.
Thank you, Madam President. Docket number 0102, notice is received from the mayor of the reappointment of Michael Loconto as a member of the Boston School Committee for a term expiring January 3rd, 2022. Docket number 0103, notice was received from the mayor of the reappointment of Hardin Coleman as a member of the Boston School Committee for a term expiring January 3rd, 2022. Docket number 0104, communication was received from Joseph E. Connerton, Executive Director of the Boston Retirement Board, of the appropriation for the FY 2019 for non-teachers. Docket number 0105, notice was received from the City Clerk in accordance with Chapter 6 of the Ordinances of 1979 regarding action taken by the mayor on papers acted upon by the City Council at its meeting of November 29th, 2017. Docket number 0106, notice was received from the City Clerk in accordance with Chapter 6 of the Ordinances of 1979 regarding action taken by the mayor on papers acted upon by the City Council at its meeting of December 6, 2017. Docket number 0107, notice was received from the City Clerk in accordance with Chapter 6 of the Ordinances of 1979 regarding action taken by the mayor on papers acted upon by the City Council at its meeting of December 13th, 2017. And docket number 0108, communication was received from the City Clerk of the filing by the Boston Planning and Development Agency of the application for the 252-258 Huntington Ave, Chapter 121A project.
Docket 0102 through docket 0108 will be placed on file. Madam Clerk, personnel orders.
Docket number 0110, Councilor Siomo for Councilor Wu.
Councilor Siomo moves for suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0110. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0110 has been passed.
Docket number 0111, Counselor Sioma for Counselor Janey.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0111. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0111 has been passed.
Docket number 0112, Counselor Sioma for Counselor Edwards.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0112. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Docket 0112 has been passed.
Docket number 0113, Counselor Sioma for Counselor Campbell.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0113. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0113 has been passed.
Docket number 0114, Counselor Sioma for Counselor Flynn.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0114. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0114 has been passed. Madam Clerk, I'm informed of how many late files?
5 late files.
I'm informed by the clerk that there are 5 late file matters, which in the absence of objection will be added to the agenda. I should wait for you guys. Hearing no objection, the 5 late file matters have been added to the agenda. Clerk, may you read the first one?
Counselor, in December 29, 2017, Counselor Mark Sioma for Counselor Presley.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of the first late file matter. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the first late file matter has been passed.
December 29, 2017, Counselor Mark Sioma for Counselor Flynn.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of the second late file matter. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the second late file matter has been passed.
December 29, 2017, Counselor Mark Sioma for Counselor Sabi George.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of the third late file matter. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the third late file matter has been passed.
December 29, 2017, Counselor Mark Sioma for Counselor Edwards.
Counselor Sioma moves for suspension of the rules and passage of the fourth late file matter. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the fourth late file matter has been passed.
And in the City of Boston, December 27, 2017, Counselor Michelle Wu ordered the following names. This is just the list, so
Let me see it.
it's for central staff
This is,
and council staff.
is this supposed to be passed? Or suspension of the rules? Placed. Oh, perfect, I didn't see this. So this is suspending the rules. Council rules moves for suspension and passage. Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilor Michelle Wu moves for suspension and passage of the fifth late file matter. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The fifth late file matter has been passed. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any late file matters for the consent agenda? Are there any late file matters for the consent agenda? There are 0 late file matters for the consent agenda. The chair moves for adoption of the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda has been adopted. Before we get to memorials, I quickly wanted to say an acknowledgement. My father-in-law is in the audience, and today is his birthday. So happy 83rd birthday, Henry Shire. My son Alexander is Alexander Henry, named after his G-Pops. Now I'd like all guests and members to please rise as the council prepares to adjourn in memory of the following individuals. For Councilor Flaherty, John Duty Flaherty. And for the chair, Rain Alexander Diaz. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. The chair moves that when the council adjourns today, it does so in memory of those aforementioned individuals, and we're scheduled to meet again on Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. All those in favor of adjournment say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the council is adjourned. Oh, first of all, I didn't know how many late files at first. I was like,